And he's going to share with you the A and the Z of Harold's dedication to helping young people around the world. Kwame.
I first met Harold when I was 3 months old at my christening. My mother, Linda White, a crossroader who traveled with Harold, and with Harold started the Crossroads Africa DC Alumni Chapter. She asked Harold to be my godfather, and he graciously accepted. He lived his life as an example for all of us. He was a mentor not only to me, but to others around the world. As you see in the program, he was honored as the Big Brother of the Year in the National Capital Region. Although I was fortunate to have two parents, I'm glad to also have him as an advisor and mentor in my life. During one of Harold's many trips to Africa, Harold and his good friend Busy B traveled to Ethiopia and met a gentleman named Jolly. And Jolly was barefoot at the time, and Harold literally helped him get on his feet. And since that initial meeting, Harold continued to keep in touch with him monthly and help him financially monthly as well. And he did that and continued that to the end. And his brother Herman has committed to continue to help Jolly. And I have a recent letter from Jolly to Busy B that I'd like to read. And like Busy B mentioned, Harold was my godfather, but he was also a godfather and godparent to Solomon Korez Musini of Kenya and Idne Jolly Makumo of Ethiopia. And this was a letter from Jolly to Busy just recently. Hello, Sister Busy B. I'm so sorry to hear this kind of sorrowful news because Dad Harold was my everything. And as you knew, he raised me from darkness to light as he was to be like a candlelight and ladder to make me fruitful citizen. Until now, he was my hope to achieve my goal. But he left me and you. So I asked to God to put him on his grass and special place. Honestly, my heart broken by his departure. It's still bitter sorrow for me because he was the only one who picked me up from the ground. Because my first willing was, and he saw me as my success and his fruit. But both of us are not lucky. Since birth and death are universal law, what can I do now? I actually have no words to express about him, but please, God condolences your deeply sorrow. God bless you. God.
And we're going to also invite up, and thank you, beautiful, have some brief comments. We have a nice delegation from Harold's earliest years in high school, Armstrong High School in Richmond, Virginia.
Thank you. And I will ask those from our Armstrong High School class to stand with me, please, that are here. Great Page, we would like to share this with you. Let it be known by this letter of affirmation that classmate Harold J. Cook was a faithful and dedicated member of Armstrong High School class of 1964, Richmond, Virginia. Harold was also in a special group, as you all know, as the twin brother of Herman Cook, one of the two sets of twins in our class. He was a member of the Mathematics Club, the Montague Cobb Science Club, and chaplain of the Student Council. Harold always had a warm greeting for everyone, and he loved coming to all of our class reunions. Harold was unable to attend our 70th birthday celebration because you know where Harold was. He was on a previously planned trip. And this was the only celebration he has missed since our very first reunion. We missed him, but we did have lovable Herman and his sister to carry on their legacy. So we just want to leave with you, Harold and Shirley, that in any moment that you feel lost, we invite you to turn to the 23rd Psalm, which is the Lord Shepherds. And then you will find that that song represents relationship, supply, rest, refreshment, healing, guidance, purpose, testing, faithfulness, protection, discipline, hope, consecration, abundance, blessing, security, and eternity. Thank you.
Hello. We're all here to celebrate Harold James Cook. And we want to thank each of you for coming out today. We have some special people we want to recognize. First, I want to know, I believe that there are members of the unequivocal 11 that are here. If you're here, would you please stand? These were the men that Harold pledged with. I'd ask you to remain standing. Will all members of Omega Phi Psi Fraternity Incorporated please stand? Psi Phi. Keep standing, please. Now I would like all of the Omega Circle here at Shiloh Baptist Church to please stand. Everyone who has ever traveled with Harold, please stand. All of you that have done some type of shopping with Harold, please stand. And lastly, all of you that love Harold, please stand. Woo! Everybody knows what that is from Harold. And give everyone a round of applause. Thank you so much. Bring it up for Harold.
We'd like now for Nana Melvin Dale to come with a libation.
Good morning, church. We have come today to celebrate the life of Harold Cook. And let me say that some people live their lives within a perspective of puzzle. Harold did not live his life in puzzle because he knew what he wanted to do and he did it. Which means that when time comes to honor such a person, we are all smiles and no sadness because they have done what God has asked them to do and they are taking their deserved rest. Now, in the African tradition, it is said that it is a poor man that does not have anyone to pour libation for him when he leaves. which means that as long as someone pours libation for you and calls your name, you will never die. You will live forever. So we're going to call Harold's name in this libation, and libation is a simple African way of praying. We beg God all the time for something, but we don't give back immediately, which means that Africans believe in giving something to Mother Earth and something to God and ancestors when they are praying, such as water, and I will use water for this libation. But it's important that we recognize God and ancestors in libation because it allows us to be free in our expression of spirituality. You will find the European asked the African, what is secular and what is sacred? The African said, all is sacred because everything is God. Everything that we see in this world is God. So I'm going to pour the libation, and I'm going to ask you to join me in a lift-up chant at the end. When I say a go, you will say Amen, which means that you are acknowledging the fact that we're calling on God Almighty and our ancestors in Harold's spirit. I'll go. Amen. I'll go. Amen. I'll go. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of all of our ancestors, in the name of God Almighty, we pour this libation in honor of Harold Cook. We ask that you would bless his spirit that he may rest in peace. We ask that you would continue to allow him to send his strength from the spirit world to all of us and motivate us in the way of our mother Africa. We thank Harold for his life. We thank God for his life. We ask that you would continue to lift him up. Use him as an example to be who you have been appointed to be by God. In South Africa, the people say Amandla, which means I wish you strength, and the answer is Yebo. I'm going to say Amandla, and I want you to say Yebo as loud as you can, and stand and raise your hand and your fist as you do it. Are we ready? Amandla! Yebo! Amandla! Yebo! Amandla! Yebo! Amandla! Yebo! Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
Barbie said, this must be done. Forgive me. We have several cards.